Today I'll be teaching you how to paint watercolor leaves. So first of all, I'll like to discuss the art materials that I'm going to use. And then after that, I'll be teaching you the basic color theory and color mixing. And then lastly, the watercolor leaves. So this is the paper that I'm going to use right now. This is 60% cotton paper by Zen Sangam. I always prefer cotton papers over cellulose papers because they're always better for watercolors. And the brush that I'm going to use is this silver black velvet brush, size 6. You can use either size 6 or size 4. Uh, this is size 4 by Princeton Neptune. You can use this as well, or any brush that you have. And a detailing brush. I'm not sure I'll use this because the point of this brush is pretty good. See, the point is like pretty nice. So just one brush or two brush are enough for this. And a palette, either ceramic or a plastic palette like this one. And some watercolors. And 2 jars of water. And one tissue or a rag to clean off your brushes. I hope my audio and video are pretty clear. If there is any issue, do let me know.
Yes, Manvi. I think once you start drawing or painting, you can zoom in a little. Now it's fine.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay. So for color theory, we all know that there are 3 primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. Okay, this is like basic stuff that we are taught at like a very young age. So we know the primary colors, we know the secondary colors. When mixing primary colors, we get green, and like mixing a violet, and there is orange. So this is the very basic stuff. And regarding the temperature of the colors, we all know that these colors are warm. Yellow, orange, reddish, these are warm colors. Over there, green, blues are cool colors. But most of us don't know that the temperature color is a relative term. So it's not like orange is a warm color. Yes, it is a warm color, but it doesn't mean like it is not cooler than some other color. So this orange might be warmer than this yellow, but it is cooler than this red. Okay, like this blue green is cooler than a green here or yellow green, but it is warmer than a blue or a blue violet. So it is all upon the relativity of a color that we have to judge the temperature of any color. So I would not be going in depth of color theory and color mixing because we won't be having that much time. But I would like to discuss color mixing of mainly green color that we would be using. So this is the leaf that I'll be teaching today. So the colors used in it and the variety of colors, the natural colors you can get. So we have different greens, right? Like we have sap green, we have green just, and we have emerald green, viridian, and oxidized green. There are so many greens to choose from, but green is secondary color, right? So you don't exactly need. Oh, my tape. So you don't need exactly too many greens. You can always mix your own colors. You just need blue and yellow. That's right, but you can have some convenient greens as well. Like you can buy the exact greens that you like. But I would always recommend go for like only 1 or 2 greens. You don't need to buy like 10 to 20 greens. So let's start color mixing a bit. So see, this is the basic Daniel Smith watercolor set, which has only primary colors, both in warm and cool tones. That is more than sufficient for a beginner who is like looking out for colors. So this is a cool yellow. This is warm yellow, kind of orangish. This is cool red. This is warm red and cool blue and warm blue. So this is more than enough for starting your paintings. Sometimes we have an issue while mixing colors. We don't get the vibrancy we want, or we want the muted colors, but we get the vibrant tones. So how to achieve those colors? So this is the color wheel, and whenever you want to mix the vibrant shades, so you should always go for analogous colors. Analogous colors are those colors which come adjacent to any color, like blue and blue violet. These two colors are analogous colors, whereas complementary colors are the colors which are exactly opposite to each other. So this blue violet, this is the opposite color of this one. Okay, so like green has opposite red. So when we want to neutralize a color, we want the green not to be vibrant. We want the green to be a little bit dull, like a mossy green. We can add a little bit of red in it, and we will get that natural looking green color, which is not too vibrant. I'll be mixing those colors right now, and you can clearly see the difference between mixing yellows and reds to the green and making a range of beautiful colors. So let's start. So I'm using this color. This is from White Nights. It's called Emerald Green. So if you have this color, I'm not sure everyone have this color. This is very, very common colors, but very common color, but it has different names and different brands. The main name of this shade is called the phthalo green, blue shade. Phthalo green, blue shade, it can be similar to viridian. If you see a pigment name PG7 over here, see, I'm not sure if it's visible, it's PG7. PG7 is a phthalo green. So it's very common, but the color you can see is very vibrant. This is phthalo green, blue shade. I'm writing PG7 over it just to remember it. So this is phthalo green. This is a very vibrant color, but it's usually get unused in mostly artist palette because it's very unnatural looking green. Usually the leaves don't look this vibrant and this bluish, but it's a very good color for mixing different shades. So I'll show you a different example. So this pan over here is also from White Nights and it's called sap green. So phthalo green comes in two varieties. Okay, so one is phthalo green blue shade and one is phthalo green yellow shade. So phthalo green, I don't have a phthalo green yellow shade. It's PG36 if I'm remembering it correctly. It's called PG36, the pigment name. So this sap green does have a PG36 among other pigments. Yes, this is sap green. So you can clearly see the difference in both the colors. Both are vibrant colors. This lean towards blue and this lean towards yellow. So among these, this is a much cooler color and this is a much warmer color. The color I like the best among my palette is a green. The name is just green. Nothing else. This is also from White Nights. It's just called green. The pigment is not very popular among other brands, so I don't think this color is available in other brands. This is the most natural green that I have. I always write which color that I'm using for future references. Sometimes I really like a color and I've mixed 2-3 colors in it, and later I don't even remember which color I used. So this is PG7. Sorry, this is emerald green, this is sap green, and this is just green. All of them are from White Knight. So today I don't usually use this color. So I'm thinking of using this color with mixing different shades to it, different colors to it. Okay. This. Okay. So I'm mixing cadmium yellow to phthalo green, and I get this color. And if I mix red, earlier I told you that in the color wheel, we can see in color wheel, the opposite to green is red. So when we mix complementary colors, we usually get the muted tone of this. Okay, we will get a muted tone of green. If you mix too much red, it will go towards gray or dark gray, sometimes even black. So this is Quinn red. I was pouring my tubes over here and I didn't wait for it to dry. So this happened. So I'm using this surface. You can see the color is too dark right now. I would always suggest, if you're painting on directly on your main artwork, you should always check first how the color is looking and how wet is your brush, how much water quantity in the brush. Like this. This is the rough sheet you can have, and like you can just test it out. This has too much red, so I can maybe add more green to it, like this. The combination that I like is this same shade. Oh, I didn't. And now I'm adding some yellow ochre. See, this is a very pretty color. It's very natural looking. . I think I'm gonna use this color for my leaves. See. From this vibrant shade, we got this beautiful green, a leafy green that we usually see on leaves. So you can just test it out, many shades, many colors that you can. Which color did I use? I used this color. Okay, Cenelia Yellow Ochre. You can test few more colors, I think. So which color should I mix? Let's see. A little bit of orange maybe. It will also mute down the color. Mixing over here. So this is more mossy green, a very dull green shade. This is also nice. We have space for one more, so just. And this is I forgot the name. Yeah, Golden Deep. This is Golden Deep by White Nights, the orange one. This is the color that I use right now. This one. See, if you buy one particular color, like for example, that I'm using this yellow ochre from Senelia, and this is giving this shade. But if I use a same yellow ochre from different brand, it would give a different result because different companies use their colors differently, and sometimes even they use different pigments in it. So you have to, if you want an exact color from different brand, I think you should go for the same pigment information. So I'll show you one example that I have a Mijello Mission Ochre shade, and which is much, much more vibrant than a normal yellow ochre. So this is the Mijello Mission Yellow Ochre, which you can see it's very vibrant. From usual ochres, this is very vibrant. So this will give you a vibrant shade. You just have to experiment and you will find the perfect green for your work. So this is also yellow ochre, but by Mission Gold. So this is the Senelian ochre and this is the Mijello ochre. So you can see both are very different. This is a darker shade and this one is very light one. So this one is very vibrant compared to this one. So I won't be like color mixing for all of these colors. I think one is enough. And I have taped down this artwork, but the quality of this masking tape is not really good, I suppose. That's okay. I always prefer to tape down the artworks because stretching the paper is always very important because it doesn't make the artwork like a curved paper. So you can see this example. I was painting on this paper. This is different paper, I guess I don't remember. But this has curved because I didn't use that masking tape or like washi tape anything. So this has curved a lot. So I have to like put pressure on it to make it straight. So let's try to sketch our leaves. So you can just copy this. I'm also copying this over here. So you can all just copy over here. Always try to make very light lines, okay? Just don't put too much pressure over the pencil. Then the pencil lines will show up over the watercolor sketch. The sketch will show up on the watercolor painting, sorry. So my sketch is so light. And that's it. The sketch is done. And if you have like put too much pressure or you are using a darker pencil, you can always lift off the color. I use this. This is a kneadable eraser. It's just like clay. You don't have to like rub it. You just have to lift the paper. So I lift the eraser like this. And it will, the extra graphite would get stuck on this eraser. So it's perfect for watercolors. I bought it like long time back when I used to work with dry media like charcoal and soft pastels. So it used to come in handy very much. So now I used to use this eraser just to lighten my watercolor sketch. So the sketch is done. Now let's start painting. So let me see what shade should I use. Maybe this one. And I like these two. Just use any green. I'm using this yellow green mixed with yellow ochre. Nee, sorry, golden deep, a little orange to get this very light, warm green. Okay, if you have a very vibrant green, you can mix it with some red and you'll get a somewhat similar shade. Okay. So the initial layer, you have to work a little fast in watercolors because the paper dries very quickly, especially in this season. This is summer, so paper tends to dry quickly. I waited this to dry before starting this paper because it's very close to this one. So if I would have started this leaf alongside with the right one, the color would have bleed to the another leaf, which I didn't want. So I let it dry completely and then move on to this leaf. So I'm painting directly on the dry paper. This is wet on dry. Okay, you can always try wet on wet, which is sometimes easier for this way. But we don't need wet on wet for the initial layers. I don't think I'll be using wet on wet for this whole leaf. I might try. I might, if we have time, we can paint another leaf with wet on wet technique. So for this one, I'll have to let it dry completely before starting the second layer. So I'll mix the colors that I need till then. So I'll be using the green, the same green with some yellow ochre. The color is nice, but it is too much pigment. I have to add some water. So let me make some space. Just cleaning off my palette to create some space for the color. And this is nice. Maybe a little bit more yellow ochre. Just take your time to find the perfect color and perfect consistency as well. Because if it's too much water, then you won't be able to achieve the results you want. So I think this works pretty well for me. This is the shade that I'm looking for. Then you just have to leave the space for the vein and just paint over one side of the leaf. Like this. Okay, I'm not painting on the other side because it's still wet and it might like bleed through. So I'll move on to the another leaf. So this leaf, the one that I'm painting right now, has a folded part. So I'll be painting this part, the folded one, with a light color, and this, the inside one, a dark shade. Do you know the exact meaning of the terms like hue, tint, and shade? Usually, the hue is the name of the color. So this is green. So that is the hue of the color. If we are talking about tint, that means the color is mixed with white. And if we are talking about shade, it means that you are mixing the hue, any color, with a little bit of black. So this is thing that I just remembered, so I should tell you. So this color, like this is blue. When we add white, we get this a tint. This is called a tint. Okay. And when we add black, this is called a shade. So we can get shade of any color. This is a shade of this color. Adding black. This is a tint of this color. So these three terms can come in handy, like the hue, tint, and the shade of the color. From where did you get that color wheel? I don't remember. I think I got it from Mango Stationery. I wanted a smaller one, and they sent me a picture of this color wheel, and I thought it's a smaller one, this size. It's more convenient, but I got this huge color wheel, so it doesn't matter much. You can also find this color wheel on Amazon too. So it's very handy to teach color wheel and to get the colors that you need. You get an idea which color, if you mix some color, like which color you are getting. See this yellow, if you add blue color, then you can get a green, this shade. If we are adding yellow color to this, you are getting a peach shade. So it's handy. So back to the leaves. So I think this is dried. So I'll move on to the other part of the leaf. Same color. We just have to wait till the leaves are dried, okay? Because you don't want to like hurry and ruin your leaves or any other painting for say. Just keep this tiny space for veins. And if you get like this extra color, right, this you just have to clean up your brush fast, do this, and take off the excess color. If you don't do that fast, that will show very badly at the end result. So this one is fine now. You need patience in watercolors. At the same time, you need to speed up as well. So it's quite contradictory. You need patience to wait for the parts to dry completely, and you need to hurry if you make a mistake or something like that. Okay, you got it from somewhere else. Yeah, 300. Okay, I don't remember how much did I buy it for. It wasn't expensive, I think. I don't think it might be the same cost or something. Might be cheaper. I don't remember exactly. Same thing over here. Even if you don't wash the brush to pick up the color, just remove extra paint quickly. See, I didn't wait. I forgot that this part is still a little bit wet. So we got this tiny line that I didn't want. So I might be able to remove it. I usually use this brush. This is a Velvet Touch Princeton brush chisel blender, which is meant for blending colors, but I use it for my like correcting my mistakes. See, all better now. There's a brush from Rosemary. I think it's called, I don't remember the name exactly, but it's specifically used to correct your mistakes. Okay, so the shape of that brush is very similar to this one. So I bought this chisel blender from Princeton and use this for that purpose only. I never used it for blending. I might try. Watercolors, you don't need blending. You don't need a special brush for blending. I might use this brush for blending gouache maybe. But currently it's one of my favorite brush to just quickly check my mistakes and like correct them. I'll show you how I correct my mistakes with this brush, okay? I'll deliberately make a mistake. So like this. Okay. I didn't want this. And I did this deliberately to show you how I'll try to like fix it. You just have to use a clean brush, okay? I think you can do with a round brush as well. So just like this. All better. You might want to add some color over here later, but don't do it now because this part is still wet, this part. So if you add color right now, it will bleed through and it will ruin the leaf. For this part, I might use a little bit of yellow. Okay. For the same shade, I will be using the same shade, but more yellow ochre in it. Again, testing out. This is perfect. The stem is very light, so I'll make it dark now. It's almost done. So this part, I think this is lighter than this one. So I might need to add one more layer so that or I might leave it like that. Some leaves are different from the others, but I would have to add shadows so it would look more natural. So for shadows, I might use this shade, this one. This is the same green mixed with quin red. You can mix any red to get this shade. Not the you will not get the exact shade, but you will get something similar. So let me wait for like 2 minutes. Ensure that it's completely dried. If it's wet, so the leaves would be totally ruined. So just let me. So this color is very different from the colors that I have chosen over here. So I'm using just one shade mixing with other shades, and I didn't care which shades I was using earlier. I think this was green that I told you about earlier. This one. I really like this green. And I think I mixed a little bit of blue in it because it's very cool. This is the color, okay? This is the color that I used over here. But this one is very cool. This is a very grayish kind of gray. So I might have added blue in it, maybe ultramarine. And for the shadows, I might have added, I think, Payne's gray for these shadows. I think it should have been dried. I think the vein space is less compared to these. That's okay. So let me check. I think this is too blue for this one. So I might want to add something different. I'm adding a little bit of green in it. Oh, this is better. Maybe more red. Yeah, this is fine. So now the shadows, the last step for these leaves. Just make sure that your brush doesn't have too much water in it, okay? So I'm moving like this and a little bit over here. You don't have to be exact. Just quickly wash your brush and with your clean brush, blend it out like this. You can do this wet on wet as well. I can show you how you can use this wet and wet. It would be easy, I think. You can try on this part. I'm painting with clear water. But make sure like when you paint over, with clean water over already painted surface, make sure it doesn't pick up the already painted colors, okay? So it also depends upon the quality of the paper and which colors are you using. So this part would be darker because this leaf is hidden behind this leaf. So the shadow of this leaf would be over here. So I would be painting this a little bit darker. But I'll have to wait till this dries maybe. I think in this case I would prefer wet on dry, not this one wet on wet. Again, the same technique. Just quickly blending out with clear water. Like this. Okay, make sure there are parts of the leaf that are still light. Okay, don't darken the whole leaf. Won't give you a natural looking leaf effect. So in this one, this part is dark, but this part is light. So you have to keep in mind that you make sure some parts are dark and some parts are not. The first layer we had with very light green, it looks almost white. See this, the vein. It's very important to paint a light color underneath so that it after painting the darker tones, the light tones are still visible. Because in watercolors, you can always make your painting or anything you're painting darker. Thank you. But you can't make it light. It's not acrylics or oils or anything like that. You can't make your watercolors light. So make sure you're painting lighter layers first and then moving on with the darker shades. I might add dark tones over on the tip as well. Like this. One more tip, always mix your colors in large quantity and much larger than you thought you might need because it's difficult to get the exact colors again. So this is exhausted, so I have to make the own color again. I mixed 3 shades. Like, let me try. Just one leaf is left, so it won't matter much in leaves because leaves can be of different colors, but you might want to get the exact same shade in different paintings. Like you're painting a dog portrait or a human portrait, any portrait. So you want the exact shades, right? So if you haven't mixed the colors more than you need, you might run out of it, and then you have to mix the color all over again. This is way. If you add too much red, now this happens. See, too much red, so it's very dark. Thank you, Shreya. Well, I needed a darker tone over here because this leaf, this part is hiding behind this yellow part. Okay, this leaf is folded like this. So this part, this yellow is in front of us, and this is behind the green part. So the behind part would get shadow, so it would be darker. So you can just, if I don't get the exact color, it doesn't matter much. I think Yeah, no. Yeah, I think this is perfect. This is the color that I got earlier. Pretty similar to it. Again, like this. Just remember the leaves hiding behind would always be dark than the leaves in front. And always try to get 2 to 3 colors in a leaves for variation. It would always look better. If you are using the same, which brushes are you using? I'm using silver black velvet brush. I'm just using one brush. This is size 6 silver black velvet brush. The tip is pretty good, so I don't need a detailing brush. I do use detailing brushes, but to get very fine lines. In this case, I don't need very, very fine lines. So this brush is more than enough for me. I'll show you some brush strokes using this brush, okay? So I'm just getting this darker tone here. So I'm also not covering this whole leaf. As you can see, some part is still light. Okay. Maybe we can add shadow over this yellow leaf as well. Earlier, this yellow leaf was very, it was not noticeable. But when I added the darker tones, this yellow shade is looking much more prominent now. So I can add a little bit of shadow in this as well. So maybe this same color, a little bit of yellow ochre in it. More yellow ochre, less green. Okay. So like this. Quickly cleaning my brush and blending this color. So you can get this shadow, see, like this, over here as well. So I think this is done. Maybe, yeah, this part needs a little shadow. Thank you. This one.